Hi, I'm just finishing up with some clients for the night, and I wanted to share a few thoughts that are really important to me before I go home. Because if you've been watching me, you might have noticed something. You might notice that I don't always show up polished, and I don't always have perfect lighting, and I don't use filters on most of my videos. I sometimes use a script and sometimes I don't, and it's very intentional. Because not only is it my core message, but my brand is my life. It's not just something that I created, it's something that I live. My work is based on my core and my purpose. And my purpose is to live authentically, out loud, and on purpose, and to help other people do the same thing. And I want to be able to provide a safe, connected, supportive space for people to be able to do that. That's really what I'm all about. There have been people, and they're well-meaning people that I care about, that have said to me, if you stay messy, people aren't going to want to follow you. If you're not polished, people won't see you as credible. And I get where that comes from. There are a lot of messages in the online space that say, be perfect, be polished, be put together, be impressive. You've got to look better or be better than that person if you want people to follow you. But here is what I've come to realize. That might be true for some audiences, and that might be true for some people, but that's not true for my audience. Because the women that I work with are tired. They're tired of trying to be perfect. They're tired of trying to be everything to everyone. They're tired of feeling like they have to show up a certain way just to be worthy. And it's actually opposite of almost everything that I'm about. So when I say things like I show up messy, I'm not saying that I show up unprofessionally. I mean that I show up real. I show up human. I show up genuine, and I'm present. My words are mine. My process is mine. My growth is mine. I am perfectly imperfect. And honestly, I show up the strongest when I allow myself to be fully me. Messy, out loud, raw, real, and on purpose. And this point is actually very important in the work that I do. Because when people see someone show up as a real human, not over-edited, not over-filtered, and not pretending, it actually helps the nervous system feel safe. It sends the message that I don't have to perform to belong here. I don't have to be perfect to be accepted, and I can be myself and still be valued. That is the environment that I want to create. It's really important to me that I not only help people understand what makes them tick and who they are, but also to learn to value that and to know that who they are is safe here. And that doesn't mean that I don't grow in the process. I'm learning to be more concise as I go along. I'm learning to communicate more clearly. Sometimes I do use a script so that I can stay on track. But at the heart, my words and my message are mine. And I mean them with all my heart. Because at the core of my work is this belief. You matter. Your voice matters. Your experiences matter. And if I'm asking you to show up authentically, then I have to be willing to do that too. In fact, some of my greatest growth has come from me being authentic and showing up, messy, raw, and real. So, if you are someone who has ever felt like I have to have it all together before I can show up, I have to be perfect before I can use my voice, I have to be polished before I'm allowed to lead, I want you to hear this. You don't. Plain and simple. You are allowed to show up. While you're growing, while you're healing, while you're learning, while you're becoming. That's actually true power. Because real power does not come from perfection. It comes from alignment. It comes from truth. It comes from integrity. It comes from being who you actually are. All of you, your strengths, and all of the challenges that go with it, all of you matters. So for me, this is what it looks like. I am committed to living authentically, out loud, and on purpose. To show up as me all the time. To grow as me. To lead as me. And to create spaces where other people feel safe to do the same. You don't have to be perfect to be powerful. In fact, I believe it's the very opposite. All you have to be is real, and your voice is allowed to be heard, exactly as it is today.